Hello everyone, this is Ashley with Magnolia Moon Tarot. I did a reading specifically for the people that are starting to see new sides of themselves. I'm in some light worker groups. We also have empathic groups, things like that on Facebook. So as I'm going through these groups, I'm seeing a lot of people asking questions regarding new abilities they're having. So for example, light language. There's words, phrases, meanings that are coming across to them in different languages, and they sound like a merging of multiple languages, and not having the understanding of where this is coming from. It can be a process that people fear because they don't know. It's not necessarily a mainstream thing that gets taught. I was lucky enough to be taught by a very spiritual family, and things like that are something that I've learned growing up that made me learn I'm not as crazy as I thought I was. For example, I can draw light language or write it. There's codes that are coming to people where they could be doodling, and it turns out it was much more than that. Or we have people who are now starting to have visions of the future or things that they don't quite understand. I have been doing a lot of meditating lately and trying to find a higher purpose in the meaning of things, and for me it's been quite the ride. And it sounds crazy when you talk about it, but honestly you're not. It's something that's within all of us. It's something that we also have to learn how to manage. Intent is everything behind it. When we have an intention of lifting the veil, so to speak, we get in tune with who we really are. Not knowing why it's there is something that a lot of people fear. And my personal technique is just writing things down and creating a journal. I've been getting channelings, helping to open chakras, so I've been writing those techniques down. I do have an Instagram page. It's at Magnolia Moon Tarot, and I post parts of the channeling on that platform, and then I've also started a Facebook group, so you guys can check me out on those. I wanted to give some guidance on the ones that are starting to go through these experiences, since again not many people are taught these things. It makes them feel like they're crazy, that they don't have any sanity left in them, that because they see visions or are having dreams, they're not normal people, and they are. You know, it does create the illusion that we should be on a fourth floor, but that's not the reality. Okay, the reality is we all have a higher calling, we all have a higher self, and there's the soul body mind matrix that a lot of people don't learn about. So that's something you'll want to look at as you go through these different things. Research what you're going through, and you'll find that a lot of people actually go through it as well. To start off with the reading, the Tower moment, and then Ask Your Soul. Ask Your Soul came out yesterday. The card I'm pulling out today, even though it applied for yesterday's mini reading over on the Instagram group, is because the people who are going through the visions in their dreams or are suddenly channeling or coming out with new information and they don't understand what it is, this is your soul speaking to you. And in order to get to the points of understanding, we need to ask ourselves, you know, specific questions, and asking our guides to lead us to what it is that we're being led to. If we don't ask the questions, we don't get the answers. It's the old prophecy of ask and you shall receive. That was something I've always been taught. And granted, it was through mainstream Christianity, through the Bible. It had a higher purpose in that. I do need my coffee, and I think I put it over here. not knowing how to ask yourself the questions is something a lot of people face because we're not taught that we can. Whoops, I knocked over a chair. Anyway, so the reason I pulled that, I'm bringing out yesterday's card of Ask Your Soul. We have the guidance within us if we just allow it to come through. And if we're scared of that, that's okay. But at the same time, it's the intent that we put behind it that leads us to that greater path. So to pull into today, it's funny how we pull card 16, Ask Your Soul. And today in our tarot, 16, the Tower. It all goes back to 1 + 6 = 7, which is the self-responsibility number. 7 is about keeping faith. It's about responsibility to ourselves. It's about responsibility to those around us. The world seems to collapse. It seems like it's falling apart, but it's not falling apart to push you aside. It's not pushing you apart to keep you out of normalcy. It's not pushing you away. It's actually pulling you inward. The Tower moments that we go through, everything changes for a reason. And think of an earthquake. You know, things have to rumble and rip apart for you to fall through the cracks. And it's hard to go through the emotional turmoil. We have physical symptoms that end up showing up with people who are going through the ascension process, but we also have physical symptoms that can manifest when we also don't allow who we are to come through. By ignoring our needs, we tend to have physical symptoms of more anxiety, feeling like we're going crazy. We end up segregating ourselves. We end up pulling away from society because, again, asking, informing ourselves, researching, those are the clues. You know, when you start reaching out, you'll end up finding people who go through the same things. It's just about learning where to look for it. There's plenty of groups on Facebook, you know, or on Instagram or on Twitter. There's many of us out there that are going through new things. And when our life falls apart, it's pulling people away from us that don't serve our purpose in the future. And if we don't align ourselves with people and knowledge that really helps us move forward, we're staying in a comfort zone that doesn't do anything for us anymore. We're holding ourselves back. And if we hold ourselves back, we're not remembering who we are. And we're not fulfilling the 7. We're not fulfilling our responsibility of self. We're ignoring our needs. And that's different for everyone. Today's card that came out with the Tower was remembrance, and it's getting back down to the roots of who we are. We have to ask ourselves what our real beliefs are. Did we lead through life just going on everything we thought we knew because we created the answers on assumptions as a child? The remembrance is the 11/11 moment a lot of people are waiting for. And it may not be as we expected it to be. The 11/11 moment, it's getting messages from guides. It's looking for the higher truth in things. But this is an encouragement card to keep going on the path that you're going because this is right for you. It's not going to be comfortable. You know, we don't always know where we're going. We don't really know how things are going to happen. But if we try to control that, we're going to lose ourselves. It's placing control, thinking that we're doing the right thing when trying to control the outcome or how things happen is pushing us further away from our purpose. The people that are going through their 11/11 moment are the ones that are going to have new ideas. You know, you're going to start seeing new people. You're going to start learning new information. It's going to give you new ideas. And information comes from spirit guides from within yourself. It could be messages through a song. It could be messages through feathers, numbers, whatever stands out for you. You know, you got to follow that. And you have to follow the soul. You have to follow the calling that's within your heart that come through the small whispers in the night. We're a multi-dimensional being, you know, the body, soul, mind matrix. We all have a higher self that guides us. And life and source will guide us as well. It's your path of calling. It's almost like once you get through your old belief pattern, you're creating a stairway to continue climbing to your higher self. And instead of viewing it as something to be afraid of, it's looking within your heart to know that of course the universe is going to have you protected. We have family on the other side. We have higher spiritual guides. We're gonna be okay. So stepping through the fear and assuming the worst is keeping ourselves in a comfort zone that we don't belong in anymore. It feels like you're going crazy. Like I said, you know, it feels like you should be on the 4th floor. But once you start reaching out, starting to get that peace of mind from other people that you're not alone going through this process, that's grounding yourself. The next card that had come out was Starkeeper. And it's about grounding. It's about finding the neutrality that helps you keep the peace within your life. Cosmic ancestors seed the light by staying grounded. The more humble we are with our approach and discerning our feelings, being able to find the peace, that inner peace, it's a neutrality of allowance. Stepping back, you're allowing things to happen. The regenerations that we go through, or the reincarnations, there's different karmic things that we learn along the way. We create lessons or choose our lessons when we come here. We choose what we're going to learn, and through that lifetime of our choices, either we repeat it or we graduate to that next level. And unless we start stepping through our fear, we don't see the light. Staying grounded, getting outside, doing things that you love that help you feel at peace. Also, the people who are going through the energy working, you know, you're starting to see the visions, you're starting to pick up on things. There could be remote viewing, astral travel, things like that. It's getting rid of negative energies, or energies that just don't really have anything to do with you. We pick up empaths. We tend to pick up on different emotions and things that, you know, just come through, but you have to remember it's not yours to keep. It's like passing a road sign. You see it, we acknowledge it, we let it go, we move on. This is your path of calling. That is the reason why all this is here. And it's hard to stay focused and grounded and staying humble with everything that we are doing. But once you step through this, you're going to be lighting the path for other people. You wouldn't be getting guidance from people who have been through it unless they have as well. And everyone has their own way of doing things. Not everything is going to apply to you. And that's okay. Again, it's like another road sign. You just pass it and keep on going. When we stay grounded, we're not letting our emotions make our choices for us. And emotional mastery is also stepping into ourselves in a way that not everybody has learned over time. It takes time to understand how to do that, not letting our emotions get to us. The next card that had come out was lifting the veil. As you go through new information, as you start digging and researching and understanding the things that you see and you experience and you feel, the new perceptions come to us. Question everything. Anything unaligned must go. And that's true, because you can't see the truth of something if we're holding on to the old things. It's a saying of stepping out of the matrix. You're seeing the higher truth in things that we didn't necessarily see before. And How can we step out of our comfort zone if we continue to harbor the old belief patterns? That's the purpose of the Tower moment. It sheds the things that don't work for us, because if we don't shed what doesn't work for us, we can't get to a new place of being. And that being is based on beliefs. Those beliefs you let go is what sets the stage to allow new things in. And it's like in Jurassic Park, you know, life will always find a way. And if it doesn't happen now, it's going to happen later. You know, life always finds a way. We manifest through our feelings, not necessarily through our words. And those feelings are tied to the beliefs. And we can't find that higher truth without shedding that old belief system. The new world is being created for us, not against us. The world's a different place than a lot of us thought it was. And that's okay. You know, there's a lot of horrible things that have happened over time. There's always a balance, and when we can manifest through feeling of deserving and knowing, that sets the stage for later generations and future generations. We all chose to be here for a specific purpose. Your purpose is coming through, and stepping through that veil and really seeing things for what they really are versus holding on to what you think they should be is, you know, that's a big key. The next card, the Golden Children. The empaths, the light workers, the Reiki healers, or even just somebody who never really believed in any of it, and now you're starting to question spirituality over religion. It's your time to do this. You know, we chose what lessons we're going to learn here in this lifetime, and it's your time now. We can't force the process. And we can't really control how exactly it happens, but we can set our intention behind it. We're going to learn about ourselves. We learn about the world. And yeah, that does definitely create a lot of emotional turmoil when we discover lies. You can't beat yourself up over it. You know, it's very easy to do. I had that day yesterday where I'm still working through things where I thought I was already okay on, and all of a sudden everything came out in a new light, and it was a tough day. But today now I feel a lot better about it, and I understand more about myself and what behaviors and belief systems subconsciously was driving me to do what I did, or how to believe about certain ways, or why I was trying to do things certain ways. But I feel more peace now, because the things that needed to come out, they did. And I call it the emotional spiral. One little thing just starts going, and the thought patterns start going with it. And why am I not good enough? Why does everything bad happen to me? Why can I have an easier life like some people? Why can't I ever have any stability? You know, but it's not about them. It's not about what's happened. It's about me looking within myself and learning I am my rock. I'm the one that I can rely on in a way that I never have before. The cycle will always continue to repeat itself as well. And it happens in layers. And once we accept it, we explore the thought, but we don't hang on to the emotion of those beliefs. That's where you start seeing some light in that. When you start discovering your gifts, have patience with yourself. If we lead with love, we can go further than before. Everything's about intention. And the people that are coming through their veil, it's their time, and the gifts that are coming through serve a purpose for later. And trusting those gifts is the hardest part, because people always confuse needing proof. It's not about needing proof to guide you. Proof is there. We just see it later than we feel it. And those guiding beliefs that you have, those form the feelings, those form the attachments, which then create the manifestations. And when you manifest, it's not about thinking from the aspect of, I don't want to be stressed. I don't want stress in my life. It's thinking or it's feeling through the emotional attachment of, I am stress-free. I am wanting cohesion. The world doesn't hear what you don't want. It hears what you actually do want. When you believe you deserve punishment, the punishment will come. It doesn't matter the words you use. It's the deep down soul belief that you carry and the feelings that are attached with it. Everybody has a higher purpose, and this reading is geared towards those people who always felt that way. They've always felt alone. They've always felt like they never fit in. And you weren't born to just fit in any specific group. You have a specific collective calling, and there's many of us out there, and it can feel like you're alone. But the beauty of technology is we can connect with those people. We still learn, we can be guided by those people when we reach out. And if you feel alone, that's just a perception based on our everyday interactions. Those weren't your soul tribe. That didn't prove that you were alone at all. It just proves that those people aren't our people. Everyone has a specific place in our life, and it's about learning the lessons that came along with that. So the people who are in this collective calling that are beginning to discover their gifts, you have a specific purpose. And when we allow those gifts to grow and we begin to manifest in a way that is in tune with source through a higher vibration, you're aligning with those purposes. The next card was the empathic starseed. A lot of empaths are coming forward, and they're starting to discover, wait a minute, this is something. It's those kids that are labeled as sensitive and they're pushed away because they have emotion. They're sensitive because they're picking up on what's around them. It's about learning not to pick up on the emotions that aren't yours and carrying them with you. Granted, yes, we could be in a room and all of a sudden we're at peace and things have been fine, and then suddenly someone walks in the room and it's just all of a sudden that tight feeling in your chest comes forward and the panic starts coming forward. Your thoughts begin to race and you feel blockages and you don't understand why, and then your own thought train starts about all your insecurities. That's not you. You're picking up on somebody else. You're picking up on things that aren't yours. And again, like a road sign, if we just see it, we acknowledge it and let it go, we let it pass. We don't hang on to that. It's not like you're going to go over and well, maybe some people would literally just go out and take the sign and throw it in your car. No, you don't do that. You don't throw it in your trunk. You pass by and let it go. We are sovereign, and knowing that place there is a key. And when you ground yourself and protect yourself through white light, you do meditations, you feel your energy going into the earth, you get out there and you do things that you really enjoy. You find a humbleness within yourself, and you begin taking care of yourself in a way that you never really have before. The guilt that we harbor through growing up, through traumatic experiences, it's soul wrenching. I've gone through the why can't I have the easier life? Why can't I be happy? Why can't I be confident with who I am? Why am I the one always shoved to the side? Why can't I be taken seriously? Why am I not chosen? Well, you are. It's just in a different way. And again, I know exactly what that feels like. And if we begin seeing that thought pattern, you start learning how to handle it differently, and you can use it for a greater sense of good. We can connect on a different level, a deeper level, making more of an impact with other people who are now starting to go through that. So the gifts that are starting to come through, the more comfortable we become with them, we're allowing our life to unfold in the way it was meant to. And for the people who are following me here, we have a timeline convergence. There's less karmic connection to choices. This is preventing society and the universe and the world from pushing away what's meant to happen. It's hard to articulate, but for the ones that are following through, we're seeing less timelines, and they're beginning to converge, and everything is coming in the way it was meant to. The greater good is winning. But unless we really start to manifest that better life through knowing we deserve it, it's pushing it away. And we can go with the path of least resistance, or we can fight it. And for the ones like me who've always wanted the better life, who've always wanted the connection, who've always wanted the family, it doesn't happen the way you think it will, but it'll happen the way it's supposed to. Everything's gonna be okay. And that trust is the hardest part. We don't have to have the answers in order to trust. We don't have to have the answers in the control of knowing how it's gonna happen. But because there is a greater sense of good that's coming, that can be that lifeline that you know that you can trust in. And when you find those people that merge with your soul, those are your soul family. They're here to take care of you. And it may be not necessarily a long-term thing, but over time you begin meeting people who have an impact on your life, who then create new lines of thinking which help you grow as a person. We all serve a purpose. So now it's time to serve yours. Have a good day.